Hi there, Alan Reece with the law firm of Frank and Kraft. Talking today with Sandy Dietrich. We're going to talk a little bit today about what to do when parents need to move into an assisted living facility. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Alan. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for sitting with us today.
Oh, my pleasure. I love coming.
So, what do you need to do when you find out your parents need to move into an assisted living facility?
Boy, I find that this is the hardest thing that people actually work through. Um, it's difficult because you see that reversal of roles.
Hmm.
We have the child now becoming that parent in the sense that they're going to be helping direct care. Already they've been seeing problems and changes, and that's what's brought them to this place.
Right.
They've been seeing perhaps a weight loss. Maybe you open the refrigerator when they go see mom, and there's blank space in there, or they have to throw away a lot of old food. And they see that perhaps their elder loved one is wearing the same clothing each day,
Mm.
and there may be stains on that clothing, and they're totally unaware of it. They may have bruises on their body from falls, and yet they deny that they've had falls. Medication mismanagement at this point is really huge, and of course, that then couples with cognitive, a memory problem, which can come off of that medication mismanagement. But when people start seeing the confusion, immediately they think, "Ooh, we've got dementia here, maybe." But truly, just missing a few meds or not getting enough meals can cause these symptoms as well. So the first thing I tell people is you need to get them to a physician. When they've gotten to this place, we really don't know all the things that are going wrong here. So, a good physical exam, coupled with review of the medication management, what really are they taking and should they be? Getting some lab tests ordered to find out, maybe the electrolytes are off balance in their blood, causing some confusion. So getting a really good look at what's going on. And then I say, sit down with your family and create a caregiving team. Get the brothers and sisters together. There could be people out in California that have no idea because they call mom and mom says, I'm doing fine. She sounds great. And so they don't understand what this crazy sister is talking about. Surely that's not my mother that she means. So getting everyone together, and at that point begin talking about power of attorney. Um, find out a good healthcare who's going to be the healthcare representative. I say search for a good elder law attorney. I'm sure at this point, Alan, you find people coming to see you folks as well.
Sure. What we find is people come in and say, "Listen, these are our concerns," and at least on our end, we say, "Okay, so what are your goals? What are you trying to do? What is an ideal solution for you and your loved ones?" And then we look at the options that are available. There are tools that we have that can help make sure that parents are looked after and taken care of. And if circumstances arise where maybe they aren't in a position to make decisions for themselves anymore, they're incapacitated either physically or mentally, to make sure that there are people who love and care about them, who can step in and look after them and make sure that their decisions and their wishes are carried out. And that's what we try to do on our end. Um,
That's a key point. The fact that you bring in the cavalry, so to speak. You try the best you can in the midst of things, but there can be a great deal of pushback from that parent, and you can't force this on them. Unless they've been declared by a court to need a guardian, those decisions still come from them. And you have to sort of lead and guide. And unfortunately, what I find is that a lot of times it takes a fall with an injury that takes them to the hospital, or perhaps, you know, a medication mismanagement leads them to the hospital. And it's from that point then that you can use that physician and say, help us.
and that's what's also nice is with proper planning ahead of time by people, you can avoid having to go through that what can be a really unpleasant and humiliating experience of being declared incompetent by a court.
Amen.
You can avoid that if you plan ahead of time.
And that's the saddest thing I see is I've been in that position, as have you, where we end up in court and we're seeking a guardianship, and it's the saddest thing, you know, for a family to have to go through that, to do that. They would like more than anything not to, but they find themselves there because there's no recourse.
Right. So if any takeaways from this, plan before that happens because you
Amen.
don't want to go through it.
No, absolutely. And I find that it happens with everyone. It's when it becomes your parents, it's not like you think. I mean, professionals, I've had, you know, the kids are a dentist and a doctor and an attorney, and yet nothing has been planned for. And you think, wow, how does that happen? But it just does. And
Yeah.
so the takeaway certainly is prepare, prepare, prepare.
And then the physical process, I assume, of moving the parent into the facility, there's some steps you need to take there to make sure the things that are important to them are actually transferred to the facility, that they're involved, because that's, again, a very difficult process moving out of one's home
It
into a facility.
absolutely, it's horrible. It's a loss for them. And the loss is usually in great multitudes at that time. Not only are they losing their home, perhaps they're losing their ability to drive. You know, that whole independence that they had and the world that they had disappears. And so it's a long process of really allowing them to grieve. Don't say, Mom, get over it already, because they can't. And
Right.
they need that opportunity to grieve for what they've lost.
Sure.
Because this has been a difficult process. And sometimes I find that it can be easier if you invite mom along to a place that's perhaps having a talk that day or having an activity that you can, you know, bring her along and just introduce her to a facility so she can find out it's not that horrible place that she imagines in her mind.
Right.
And they also offer respite care so that she could go there and stay for a week and just try it out and see what it's like. So that's another opportunity of assisting in this process.
Allowing someone to ease into the process
You
instead of going
bet.
from 0 to 60.
You bet. Yeah, I wholeheartedly think that's a great way to go.
Sandy, that's some great tips and some great advice. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome.
And as always, tune into the Eldercare channel as we provide more education and resources for folks working through what are sometimes quite difficult issues.
Yes.
Thanks. Take care.